All right, we got to talk about the South Park episode because holy crap, man. What an episode. I haven't seen a South Park episode like this in a long time. Let me tell you guys, man, if you guys have not seen this, I highly suggest you guys watch it, okay? But I'm gonna warn you guys, man. There is a lot of X-rated stuff on that episode that if you have kids or anyone around you, I would highly suggest moving them away or waiting until they go to sleep to watch the episode. That's what I would recommend because holy crap, this episode was insane. I think that overall the episode was received pretty well. And then the other big aspect of this, which is again spoiler, this is probably going to be the major spoiler. So if you don't want to listen to this part, just click off. But the biggest feature in this episode was that they used AI, generated AI content to create a piece of Donald Trump out in the desert, just taking off his clothes because obviously he's dehydrated, he's hot. He's taking off his clothes, and again, like this AI generated content was made his proportions a lot larger, meaning that he's a lot bigger, except one part of his body, which shrunk, in my opinion, and that's his penis. All right, I think that his penis was a big feature in this episode. As you guys can see here, there's another image here, but I can't show that one because there's a painting with Donald Trump and a penis, and they painted it small because they wanted to send a message that this guy has a small penis, which is why he gives off that, I guess to them, beta energy. And yeah, and in that AI generated content of Donald Trump, there's a moment where he ends up falling on his back because he's just so hot, and the camera ends up getting him from an angle where it showcases the lower half of his abdomen up into his face, right before it before it pans down to like view to get a full view of his penis, which it does, I believe, and then you just see like a tip of it, which is crazy, and then it ends up panning over to Donald Trump because Donald Trump ends up looking down. He's looking towards his bottom in between his legs, and then in between his legs there's like this, like imagine these are his legs, right? Like they're like in this angle, and then like there's like a finger that just comes out like that with a rubber band around the tip to simulate the head of the penis. And then like the penis talks to Donald Trump like, why can't you satisfy me? Like pretty insane stuff, man. Like my jaw was to the floor when I saw that. It's an absolutely insane episode, man. I did not expect it to be like that. There's very little story to it, which means that there's probably going to be a part 2, part 3 to it. I don't know, but it was an absolutely insane episode. Now I do want to show you guys this. This is a video from Comic-Con. It was provided by Garage Factory right here, who ended up streaming this. So thank you, Garage Factory. And I want to show you guys just a bit of this panel because, believe it or not, Trey Parker and Matt Stone ended up apologizing, but they did it sarcastically. And I know that I'm seeing currently there's a couple of titles that are talking about like, oh, Matt Trey and Matt Stone, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they apologized. We're terribly sorry, which they did, but sarcastically. So I'll show you guys what that looks like now.
Did you anticipate the reaction today? Have you been following it? What do you make of it?
We're terribly sorry.
Thanks. Yeah, so that's it. Like, so if you guys see headlines of like, oh, they apologize, they're terribly sorry, they're being sarcastic, okay? Obviously, they're not sorry because that content was crazy, all right? And I want to read this as well. I think that this is important. White House spokesperson Taylor Rogers slammed the episode in a statement to USA Today, calling South Park a fourth-rate show that hasn't been relevant for over 20 years, which is funny because they just signed, South Park, the creators of South Park just signed a $1.5 billion deal with Paramount. So yeah, I don't know if it's a fourth-rate show based off of those numbers, but regardless though, there's also this statement here as well. When Comic-Con panel moderator Josh Horowitz joked that he had a subpoena with him, Parker responded, "It's fine, we're ready." In other words, they're ready to take on President Trump if President Trump chooses to sue Trey Parker and Matt Stone. So that's pretty insane. So these guys absolutely anticipated that it might come to that. And you know what, man? We're ready for that, which is absolutely insane that people like this or content creators have to be ready to fight a lawsuit if President Donald Trump wants to pursue some sort of legal actions, which I'm going to get to in a bit. Trey Parker and Matt Stone said they were asked by the producers to blur out the depiction of Trump's genitalia, a request they declined. And with the show being put together in a week to week, they said they were initially not sure if the first episode was going to gain traction, which the producers wanted them to like cut out the genitalia, which I'm telling you guys, like, they did not cut that out. They towards the end, when they showcased the penis, it had like little eyes on it with a little mouth, and it turned into a character, which is how they kind of got around that loophole, because that was kind of like a loophole. At least I don't remember where I read that, but yeah, they got around that policy of like no nudity or whatever by turning the penis into a character. So if that was the case, that they did that for that reason, that is pretty genius. And yeah, that they got around that loophole pretty easily. Then they also did this segment on 60 Minutes where they were poking fun of what happened with 60 Minutes and Donald Trump. I think that from what I recall, Donald Trump ended up suing 60 Minutes for a bad coverage on Donald Trump. I'm not sure. I don't remember what went on. All right, so now it's coming back to me. Yeah, so this is correct. Trump, in a post on his social media app Truth Social, he said he received $16 million payment on July 22nd, 3 weeks after Paramount agreed to settle a Trump lawsuit that claimed the CBS News program 60 Minutes deceptively edited an interview with Democratic nominee Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. Okay, so I do remember. Okay, so there was this moment where they ended up editing out certain segments of the interview, and they ended up tying two different moments in the interview and made it sound like it was from the same response or something like that. Yeah, so he's suing them for that. It seems like they reached a settlement, agreed to settle a Trump lawsuit that claimed the CBS News. Okay, so yeah, so it says here, Paramount agreed to settle a Trump lawsuit that claimed the CBS News program deceptively edited that interview. I think that Donald Trump probably holding that news outlet responsible for that. It's just, I don't know, man. I haven't even seen the clip. We're actually going to watch it together. Let's see what they have to say about this and if this is even true. I found this one, Sky News, Australia. Let me listen to this one. I think that this one has a little more context to it. I checked out the other videos, but I don't know. I don't really like those. Let's check this one out. All right, I know that I said that we're going to watch it together, but holy crap, Kamala could speak. If she was to write a biography, if you laid it down on the floor, it'd be towering over you. You would need a ladder to read the first chapter. So no, I'm not going to show you all of that. But what I can make out of this, if you want to watch it on your own, I will link the Sky News Australia video if you guys want to watch whatever context they provided. But based off of the context that they provided, I don't know how I feel about it, because, you know, we're in media, and in media we're going to edit ourselves to make ourselves sound much more efficient. Because these ramblings it's exactly that, you know, they're ramblings of a human. A human is never going to be precise with their language. Although I will say, though, that the criticism that comes behind this is the fact that there was two questions that were proposed. And, you know, the answer from the second question was stitched together with the first question. So it almost sounds like she responded to the first question using the second answer. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. If 60 Minutes is doing that, I wonder what other news outlets are doing that, you know, because that's pretty deceitful, man. You know, and the thing is, I don't want people to just point the finger at CNN, at MSNBC, or 60 Minutes, because here's the thing, man. It's all the news networks. It has to be. It can't just be a select few. It has to be all of them, man, because all of them have an agenda to spread their own propaganda and their agenda. So I am very skeptical when it comes to news outlets and their political leanings, you know. So don't think that, oh, it's only the leftists who are doing that, dude. Like, no, that's completely blind. That you're being blind to that. Don't be blind to your own side if you are a part of these political parties. I will say it again, as I usually say it. Get out of these political parties, because oftentimes they're just poison for the mind. But I mean, if you want to continue with these political parties, you have faith, and you want to put all your faith in these parties, then by all means go for it, man. Just know that these guys, they poison the mind. And then they do stuff like this where they edit Kamala Harris, make her sound more legit, I guess, or more concise, more punchy, whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if other outlets are doing this. So yeah, that's really all I kind of wanted to talk about. Yeah, let me know what you guys think.